Hey guys, so for today's video, I have my September favorites. I'm super excited because I love getting together every month and chatting about what I loved for the month and what I didn't love. So first things first, I want to talk about a primer that I've been obsessed with. This is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer. You guys know that I love the Urban Decay Makeup Prep Gel, whatever, and then the Marc Jacobs Coconut Primer, and I loved mixing those two because I loved the combo that I got. But I feel like this is those two mixed in a bottle. It's like watery and jelly, but still moisturizer-y. It moisturizes and hydrates really nicely, but it's not too thick, not too greasy. It's like the perfect primer. I really love it. If you need a hydrating primer, you're going to love this. I really do like it a lot. It doesn't do much in terms of like blurring and filling my pores, but if I need that, I kind of just put in a little bit of pore filling primer in my pore area, and then I use this all over. So warning, there's going to be a lot of Fenty Beauty in this video because I really wanted to update you guys on my favorites out of the collection and pretty much just what I've been using a lot this month. So I want to talk to you guys about the foundation. I really like the foundation, but I have like this I have this like love-hate thingy. I kind of just wanted to include it in this video so I can update you guys on it. So I did find my shade, which I'm wearing it today in the shade 290. 290 is a really nice neutral warm shade. Actually, they call it neutral olive. So I really do love this foundation because it lasted so long, and you barely get oily, you don't get sweaty. It's just, I don't know, it's really good, like super long lasting. My only pet peeve with it is that it dries so quickly. So it's like when you're working with it, you just have to work fast, and you guys know me, I take long blending my foundation. Like I get comments all the time like, girl, why are you blending your foundation still? And it's been like 5 hours. I take long to blend my foundation because I really want it to be like super flawless and seamless and blended. I want no patches. I want everything to be good. And with this foundation, I gotta like work so quick. So, you know, but that I could get over, but then there's like also the thing of it oxidizing. It doesn't necessarily oxidize. It looks great in photos, by the way. It doesn't necessarily oxidize. It more dries down, and I use matte foundations all the time, but I've never had this big of an issue choosing a shade because of how much this foundation dries. It is super duper matte. If you have dry skin, no question about it, you're just like, I'm 99% sure you're not gonna like this foundation. If you have very oily skin, you're probably like in love with it. For me, I'm like normal right now. Like I'm normal with the oily T-zone, but then dry of the other areas. So I'm not like obsessed with this foundation right now, but I still like it. I like it for some things and then I don't for other things. It's very confusing. Love, hate with this guy. I'm really excited to see her release another foundation that maybe I will love even more of like a soft, luminous, natural kind of finish. So I'm excited for that. Hopefully she comes out with that. Okay, so I've also been obsessed with her matchsticks, and I love how they all like click together, except I literally sit there and make sure they're like perfect and all facing the same way. So that's the only problem with it. Other than that, I love how they all click together, and I love the shades that she came out with. So the two that I'm obsessed with, I really love Suede. Let me show you guys Suede. Suede is beautiful. Suede is the shade that I will use if I just want to bronze and contour in one. You know, it's like, actually, let me just, yeah, let's do some swatches. How gorgeous is Suede? It's so beautiful. Suede is the darker version of Latte, and I really love Latte. Latte is the perfect like natural bronzing shade for my skin tone. See how beautiful that is? So nice. When I wore the foundation 300, the shade, Latte was a bit too light. So if you're in the 300s in Fenty Beauty, you're gonna love Suede as a really nice bronzing shade, and Latte will be too light. But me being 290 right now, Latte is a really nice bronzing shade. And then I really love Truffle. So not only the shades, well, Truffle is just so perfect. It's really deep, but it's like the perfect contouring shade to really get that chisel. But not only that, the formula of these is amazing. It's a really nice cream to powder, so you get that cream beautiful finish, but then it settles down really nicely, and it sets so that you don't actually have to set it with powder, and it lasts actually really long. The formula is really blendable. I'm actually really obsessed with these in terms of contouring. I really like how they contour and bronze. So I figured we're just gonna get all the Fenty Beauty out of the way for the favorites. So I also want to talk about the blotting powder. You guys, I have been using this non-stop this month. I don't know why, it's just super easy, and it's been like my go-to. It's a safe powder for me, and I like to call it safe because powders are something that I'm very picky about, because especially translucent powders, because a lot of the times they say translucent, but then when you put it on, they lighten your skin tone and give you that white cast, or if you take flash photos, which I take a lot of flash photos, so I'm very like scared of using like translucent powder sometimes. So I have those safe ones that I stick to and I gravitate to, and I feel really safe with this. I know it's not gonna give me flashback. I know it's not gonna lighten my foundation. Super smooth, sets really nicely. My makeup lasts really long when I use this. So I just really love it. And it's, again, it's just that safe pressed powder. I love that it's pressed too. It's easier than using a loose powder. This is actually a blotting powder, the Universal Invisimatte blotting powder. But I use it as a setting powder. And I also have been obsessed with the Fenty gloss. You guys, this is the best gloss formula I've ever used. No doubt, like no question about it. Favorite gloss formula ever. So smooth, not sticky, but like tacky enough, but like smooth enough. It's like, I literally can't explain it other than saying it is the best, most magical formula ever. I really hope she comes out with more shades. Like I need nudes, I need colorful shades, like I need every shade in this formula because it's amazing. So that is it for Fenty Beauty. Moving on, I want to talk about the Sephora Perfection Mist Nude Glow. So I want to chat to you guys about this because this works really well all over the body, but in my video I use this on the face, and ooh, you guys, on the face did not work for me. It looked good in the video, but when I ended up taking flash photos in certain angles and certain lighting, I had a full on like greasy white cast. Like it really gives you a white cast if you're taking flash photography in certain lightings. It's weird because like I would take a photo like this and it was fine, but then I would take a photo towards the sun more and it wouldn't. It just, not for the face. I don't feel safe using it because I don't want to have like a major flashback, but on the body it looks good. It's weird. Maybe it just doesn't work good with like foundation and stuff, but on the body it looks really good. It gives you that very beautiful, subtle like glow to your skin. It just makes you look like your body and your skin is glowing from within. So I've also been really loving the Anastasia Liquid Glow. This is in the shade Peach Fuzz in particular. I really like it. It blends really beautifully. It's super easy to work with, but it's very blinging. Like it's such a beautiful shade and it's such a beautiful wet highlight. I really have been loving this. So I've had this product for forever and I've never really dabbled into it because I've always been a brow, well not always, but like I would say for the past 2 years I've always been more of a pomade, so like a brow gel girl or a brow pencil girl. But I kind of saw this in my collection. This is the Anastasia Dark Brown Brow Powder Duo. And I was like, I should try powder on my brows. And I fell in love with it for the inner corner part. If I'm not wearing any makeup and I'm just doing like a no makeup day or something, then I love it for the brows. But if I'm having like more of a glam day, I don't like it for the brows because it's not pigmented and bold enough. But I love it on glam days even for the inner corner. So it really gives me that like feathered inner corner brow. I really like it. You can get that super natural feather-like strokes with the powder. I really do like it. I have been using more of the darker shade and not really the light shade at all. Next favorite I want to talk about is the Huda Beauty Desert Dust palette. So this is what I'm actually wearing on the eyes today. I just filmed a first impressions and one palette tutorial using this. So take this with like a grain of salt if you guys want, you know what I'm saying? Because I literally just tried this today. So you can take this with a grain of salt. Some of you might want me to like try it more, which I definitely will try it more and update you guys, but I love the formula of these. I want to talk to you guys about my thoughts on the palette in general. Do I think you need it? Yes and no. Like, I don't know. I feel like this palette needs tweaking for it to be perfection. Like, if I was to get my hands on this, I would add a little bit more neutrals so that it could be a little bit more use for everyday. But then I also would change the shade Amber. Really disappointed me. In the pan, it looks like that beautiful, like warm Morocco rich brown, orangey brown, but then on the lids it totally goes pinkish red, like totally pink red, different color. So I was disappointed in Amber and how it really changed shades. The powders, the shades, the mattes, they blend beautifully. Like the mattes blend so good, like butter on the lid, no fallout on the face. There was a lot of kickback on the palette, so it depends. It's up to you on whether or not you're okay with that. This shade right here works on your finger and a brush, so I like that. But this shade Twilight right here only works on your finger. I tried to use it with a brush and the brush just really dulled it down. It took away what the shadow was supposed to be. When you apply this with the finger, you get that duochrome metallic finish. And then when I tried to use a brush, it just looked very dull. So I don't like how this shade only works with your finger, because for me, I have nails and it's just hard to get so precise. So I don't like a shadow that can only be applied with your finger. Like, I like the option of being able to use a brush if I had to. So I feel like there's pros and cons in this palette. Like I said, if I could get my hands on it and tweak it, there's some tweaks I would make. But other than that, I think it's a great palette. I think it's definitely worth you guys purchasing to check it out for yourself. I really like it. I think I'll be using it. But like I said, like it's hard for me to call it the most amazing palette because there's some tweaks I would make, but I really like the formula and I love how the shades are so bold and pretty. And like I said, that twilight shade just looks beautiful on the eyes. I think this entire makeup look and the one palette tutorial using this is probably gonna go up after this video, so stay tuned, you guys, and you guys will definitely get to see my first impressions and a full tutorial using this. All right, so funny enough, that is it for my favorites of the month, but we wanna get into regrets now because I actually have quite a bit of regrets. So I wanna talk about the Fenty Beauty matchsticks. So I talked to you guys about the matchsticks and how they were my favorites, but I really love them for bronzing and contouring. On the cheeks, they're amazing. But this is in the shade Bamboo, and this is to be used underneath the eyes. And I really did not like the formula for underneath the eyes. The formula is perfection on the face, but not underneath the eyes for me. It was just too dry. Like I mentioned, you guys, it's like a cream to powder formula, but the cream, it's like a tough cream. It's not like a movable, you know, it's like a soft matte cream, you know? So underneath the eyes, it just looked too dry, too cakey. Perfect again on the cheeks, like literally perfection. Underneath the eyes, too dry, too cakey, not really movable because of how dry it was. I'm used to my like liquid concealers, you know, but even as a cream, like if I was gonna use a concealer stick, I would need it to be very creamy. And this is just, like I said, more of the cream to powder soft matte finish, so not flattering underneath the eyes for me. I also was not a fan at all of the Fenty Beauty sponge. I really did not like it. I find it to be like, it just feels very cheap, almost like I got it from the dollar store. Very thin and flimsy, so it didn't really blend much, and it soaked up a lot of product. I know sponges in general, they're gonna soak up product, but this just soaked up a ton of product for me. I wasn't really a fan. So next I want to talk about the e.l.f. highlighting powders. I've mentioned these before, but I kind of just wanted to play around with them a bit more, and I just have finally decided that they're definitely a regret for me. I feel like e.l.f. can do better. They just look a bit dull. I don't get that intense reflect from them. I don't know, you see, they're just not extremely reflective, so they're not even really much of a nice highlight for a subtle glow because they look kind of dry. So I'm just not a fan of them. So lastly, I want to talk about the KKW Beauty Contour Palette. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I thought this was gonna be like my fave, and I was really excited for it because I loved the contour highlights. I mean, yeah, the cream contour and highlight sticks. And everybody didn't like them and I loved them. And then everybody likes this and I don't. So I don't know what's up with that. I don't think it's worth it. I think I paid like $100 Canadian for this when it came to like taxes and custom border duties and shipping. I ended up paying like $100 for this. I really liked the formula. Actually, like loved the formula of the bronzer. So smooth, like literally looked like your soft skin but better. But this was a bit too orange, just a little bit, you know, the smidgest bit too orange for me. And then this was the smidgest bit too cool for me. So, you know, there's just like, it's just not worth it for me. But the highlighter shades, oh, I was so disappointed in them. But I was shocked because when I saw them on Snapchat and stuff, I was like, those look like they're not wet. And I like a wet highlight. And then when I saw people's YouTube videos, a lot of people, it looked like blinging on them. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I'm gonna totally love it. Then I saw it in person and I was like, these look dull. So I was like, whatever, Amy, let's try it on the face. I tried it on the face. I have a video on it if you guys are interested, doing a full first impressions, but I tried it on the face and it was what I expected when I saw the palette in person. They just look dull and dry on the face, and I'm just not a fan. For $100, I'm not gonna be, like, I just would not recommend this for you guys. So that is it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed seeing my September favorites and regrets and what I've been loving and hating this month. Thank you guys so much for watching, and of course, as always, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys. Mwah.